Hi, my name is Nicholas. Welcome to this week's Yin practice. For props for today, I suggest having a soft block, a couple hard blocks, and a strap might come in handy as well. When you're ready, we'll get started on the back. You may want to have the soft block or the strap nearby and maybe some of your props as well. So just place them kind of near where your head is going to be. And then coming to lie down on the back, take your time to get comfortable. And then the arm expression that we'll start with is to interlace the fingers and then press the palms away. And then with the arms extended like this, lower them down to the floor overhead. Now, this may feel like a little bit too much, so you can change the angle a little bit, and that's where having your props nearby might be handy. So you may just use all of them or some of them and just create yourself a shelf to rest the arms on so that they aren't all the way to the floor if that causes pinching or anything in the shoulders. And another way to modify would be to use your strap. So if interlacing the hands like that doesn't work, then instead you can just hold your strap with a little bit more gap in between the hands and then lower the arms down like that. So however you prefer to get started, take your time and set up your expression of the shape. If anything else needs a little support in the rest of the body, take your time to add in some props or anything else. Maybe a little wiggle of the head side to side, a little rock of the hips to help you settle in. And as you're ready, come and find your stillness. If your hands are interlaced or you're using the strap, gently let that go. And then you can return your arms maybe near your sides and just play with the fingers a little bit, wiggle them, wiggle the toes as well. And you might circle the wrists a few times in each direction. Awesome. We're going to head towards a seat so you can roll to one side, or if you like, collect the knees in your chest, and you can gently rock and roll your way up instead. And then, however you like to get there, come and find a comfortable seated position, and you can sit up off of one of your props as well. Awesome. So take a moment to settle yourself in, settle the hips, settle the shoulders, gently lengthen the spine. And then from here, this first stretch will be for the hands. So you can take your thumbs and hook them in your armpits and then lower the elbows down to the floor. And you should straight away feel a nice stretch kind of between your thumb and your index finger. If that feels too intense, then back out. Otherwise, close down the eyes, breathe here. Awesome. Gently release the hands. They might need a little shake out here. And then take your thumbs to the palm and wrap the other four fingers around. Now move nice and slow because this stretch might feel a little bit intense through the outside of the wrists. So take the arms down to the sides and then slowly start to extend the arms and start to point the thumb like it's pointing away from you, or the thumb knuckle rather. And then once you find that stretch, the arms can stay hovering or you can touch them down to the floor. Breathe into whatever you're feeling. Gently release the wrists from their stretch. Release the thumbs and then just roll the wrists a few times in either direction. Maybe a little shake off for the hands as well. Awesome. From here, we'll come to find a squat. So you can set up any kind of squat that you want. I'm going to have the hard blocks nearby. So if you want to do the kind of squat where your bum is on the floor, for starters, you don't even have to lift up. You could work from here as well. Otherwise, bringing your feet to the floor, lifting the pelvis, maybe adding the props for support, maybe not. So see what you need. Another option is to bring something underneath the heels if it feels like they're hovering and it's uncomfortable for you. Awesome. So gentle press of the feet into the floor. Now extend the arms out in front. Turn the thumbs to point towards the floor so it's the back of the hands together. And then cross right over left to interlace the hands. And take the hands towards the body, up and over. And then find that nice stretch for the forearms here. So you can press the elbows gently to the knees, knees to the elbows. You could also touch the hands down to the floor, kind of let that be your tripod. So whatever expression, don't worry too much about the spine, just make sure it feels comfortable, but to round in is okay here. And if you like to let the head go as well, then go for it. And find your breath. Awesome. If you're rounded, gently lift yourself up, unravel the hands, and then gently release. Maybe give them a little shake out. If you need to give the hips or the knees or anything else a little shake out too, and take a few breaths wherever you need to be. And then when you're ready, come back to your squat. We'll be here for the same amount of time, so if you do want to add that seat in, then go for it. So turn the thumbs to face towards the floor, and this time cross the left arm over the right, interlace the fingers, and then thumbs towards the body, through, up and over, and find your forearm stretch for the second side. Hands can hover, or they can touch down. You can round the spine or stay upright. Mirror whatever you did on the first side and modify anything that you need. If you've bowed the head, lift it up. Gently unravel the arms, move slowly, and then see what feels good. Maybe wiggle the fingers, maybe circle the wrists a little bit. Awesome. We're going to head towards a forward fold, the dangling shape. So as you're ready, you can start to extend the legs, and it might feel nice to sway the hips a little bit, maybe to release the spine. So not quite a wide-legged fold, but maybe feet a little wider than you would normally. So find whatever version of this feels good in the body. And if you need a little more support for the spine, you're welcome to bring your hands back in. You could stay in a halfway lift the whole time. And from here, we'll play with the bind, so we'll interlace the hands behind the back. And then, of course, your strap is here, so if having the hands together doesn't quite work, feel free to do that. Now, hands can stay at the hips, or if you like, you can start to reach them up towards the shoulders, or towards the ceiling, rather. And let the spine be nice and heavy. You're welcome to add a bend to the knees, or have the legs mostly extended. Even here, if you like a gentle rock, then go for it. And come and find your stillness when you feel ready. Awesome. If the arms are extended overhead, then you can gently bring them down. We're going to head towards the tabletop position, but if you want to stretch out the spine first, or if you want to find a little movement or anything else, then go for it. And whenever you're ready, you can bring your hands and knees down to the floor. And keep your props nearby because they'll probably be handy. Have your strap and your two hard blocks. We're going to set up for cow face pose called shoelace pose in yin. So from your tabletop position, bring your left knee forward and then the left foot over towards the right. Bring the right knee behind the left knee and then the right foot over towards the left. And then find your props and bring them just behind the hips so that you can lower the hips down onto them, making yourself a little seat. If for any reason this doesn't work for you for today, for the knees, the pelvis, or anything else, you could do the one-legged expression, so extending the bottom leg out towards the front. And you can also skip the legs and just work with the upper body if that's better for you for today. I'm going to take one end of the strap to the right hand, reach it up towards the ceiling, and then bend the elbow so that the right hand is kind of behind the neck. The left arm, I'm going to reach out with the thumb pointing down out toward the left, and then bending the left elbow to catch the other end of the strap with the left hand. And you're welcome to walk the hands a little closer together. If you don't need the strap, then maybe you're holding your hands. Now, just make sure that there's no pinching or anything sharp, electric going on in the shoulders or anywhere else. And find your breath here. Awesome. Gently release your grip. Hmm. Releasing your arms, and then see what feels good here. Maybe rolling the wrists a few times, maybe rolling the shoulders a few times. Awesome. And then we'll set up for the second side. So again, you can have your props nearby, roll back over the knees, come to that tabletop position, and then uncross the legs. This time we'll take the right knee in front, right foot over to the left, and then the left knee behind it, left foot over towards the right. And slowly lowering down onto your seat. And again, make any adjustments you need. It's also possible that this felt good on one side and not on the other, so don't worry if you need to take a slightly different expression, if you need to accommodate for something in your body. Make sure everything feels secure, and then when you're ready, you can add the arms. So strap to the left hand now, bend the left elbow, and then reach the right arm out towards the right, thumb pointing down, and bend the right elbow to catch the other end of the strap. And again, you might be walking the hands closer together, you might be removing the strap altogether, but just make sure that it doesn't cause you to curl in when you do that. So keeping as much space across the body and in front of the body as you can. Gently think about releasing your strap or your hands. Releasing your arms, and then again, take a few breaths wherever you need. Find some movement, wrists, shoulders, elbows. Awesome. And then coming out through your tabletop position, uncrossing the legs. And you can move your props off to the side. Maybe your blocks kind of near the top of the mat. And for this last shape, we'll set up for a child's pose and keep your knees together for this expression, hips towards the heels. And it might feel nice to bring a soft block between hips and heels as well. And then set something up to rest your forehead onto. So see if you need one or two blocks here to make it, see what feels the most comfortable, basically. Awesome. And then once that's set, we'll just set up one expression for the arms here so you can walk the hands back so that they're kind of in line with the knees. And then flip the hands so that it's the back of the hand to the floor. And then let the elbows be near the rib cage but nice and heavy. You can play with walking the hands a little further forward if that feels like a better stretch for you. If any other part of the body needs a little more support, then feel free to play with your props here. If the backs of the hands are to the floor, gently untuck them and lift up just part way. We'll stay in child's pose, but take a slightly different expression now. So you can take your knees nice and far apart. If you no longer need the soft block, then move it out of the way. And then you might keep either one of your hard blocks, or you could even bring your soft block near the top of the mat. And slowly lift the chest lower down to the floor. And this time we'll bring the elbows onto the prop. You can either keep the arms extended here, resting the forehead down to the floor, or you could bend the elbows and reach the fingers towards the ceiling, maybe the thumbs towards the back of the neck. You can also play with walking the elbows a little further forward or a little closer together, and finding that deep stretch for the triceps and into the shoulders. Make sure there's a pain-free expression here, so no pinching, and find your breath. If the elbows are bent, gently re-extend the arms. You can start to walk the hands in to help lift yourself up. And from here, lower the hips down to one side, swing the legs out. And it might feel nice to give the feet a rock side to side or tap for the backs of the knees. And we'll set up to end in a seated meditation. So, using any of the props that you have. And if you know you have a classic way of crossing the legs, then choose the opposite cross this time just to keep things even in the body. If you'd rather rest in a different shape in a Shavasana or anywhere else, then go for it. Otherwise, take a moment to find your shape here, settle the hips to the floor, gently rebound the spine, and keep the shoulders soft, soften the face, the jaw. Hands can rest wherever feels the most comfortable. And settle in here. If you notice the mind starting to wander, and kindly guide it back to the body and back to the breath. And gently bring your attention back to the space, back to the body. And see if any part of you needs a little movement here. It might be the fingertips, maybe the shoulders, maybe the head wants a rock side to side. If you're somewhere other than a seat, then make your way to a comfortable seated position when you're ready. From wherever they are, connect the hands in front of the heart, bow the chin in towards the chest. And thank you for sharing your practice today. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for Yin practice. My name is Nicholas. If you have any questions, please reach out and enjoy the rest of your day.